Thank you very much, Christina. Now, she's been on the job a little more than 3 months, but one word continues to dominate her discussions in the Topeka School District. Dr. Tiffany Anderson sat down with KSNT News' anchor, Jared Broyles, to talk about the subject she insists that should be on the focus in 501 schools.
Dr. Anderson, let's start by talking about literacy. From the time that we first heard about you here to the time that you came and interviewed, to your hiring, to the start of this school year, literacy kind of is your educational battle cry, if you will. There are so many topics and things that kids have to learn. Why is literacy the key focus for you?
You know, literacy is one of the areas that we know all young people have to have in order to leave and actually get a career, whether they're going to college or not. If you are illiterate, you are less likely to have a job, you're less likely to remain employed if you do get a job. You certainly are less likely to have an income that is beyond the poverty rate. We also know when you are in a district that has any amount of poverty, much less the 70% or above, then certainly literacy is also an area of extreme importance, because the average student in poverty enters school with a 30 million word gap, vocabulary word gap, compared to the average middle school, middle income student. And so if you know that kids are coming in with this very significant vocabulary gap, you really have to give kids a high jump as opposed to the students who come with a running start.
Is that essentially if you can read, then you can learn or teach yourself
Absolutely.
what you need or want to know?
You know, reading is really that foundational skill. And so if a lot of times people talk about incarceration and how it's really predicted based on third grade. Well, literacy are one of those predictors. You know, how well are students reading when they leave third grade and when they leave second grade? Because third grade really is that critical grade where you're moving from reading from fun to reading to learn. And if you can't read, then you're less likely able to learn the various other content areas.
I want to talk about, you've just returned from a national conference sponsored by Scholastic, a well-known company in education circles. So what did you talk about, and what did you want the other educational leaders who were there to walk away with?
You know, the Scholastic Conference was wonderful. It was Scholastic and ASCD, the Literacy Leaders Institute. So in addition to some of the top reading professionals throughout the state and throughout the nation, I had an opportunity to meet with various teams from across the nation, meet with superintendents and teachers, principals, and talk about balanced literacy. You know, I'm a huge proponent of making sure you have reading workshop, writing workshop, and then there are some foundational skills that you need to ensure that students have and they have practice with regularly to ensure that they are reading at high levels and they're able to not only comprehend but apply that. And so I really gave them strategies. I focused a lot on poverty as well, you know, ways in which to use literacy as an anchor, even with parental involvement. In one district that I worked in, we really said, okay, if we put washer and dryers in our schools, not only will parents volunteer, but we also have told parents you can use washer and dryers, one load of laundry for free in exchange for either 1 hour volunteerism or 1 hour in learning literacy skills for parents who don't have that. That idea of using literacy as an anchor is a different way of thinking. So it really needs to be visible in all things that you do in schools. So we talked a lot about that. So my presentation really concluded their final day. And then people left with a literacy plan. So we have from Topeka an opportunity to impact districts across the nation through just that one institute.
All right, Dr. Tiffany Anderson, USD 501 Superintendent, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.